Hey, welcome back to another edition of Trash Talk. It's Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock. And
Yeah,
you know what? I got to send a shout out to a few good loyal listeners.
let's do it. Let's do
Very,
it.
very observant people because last show we did last week was a good show. Had a good time, and somebody said, "Hey Stuart, where's your hat?" Well, I wasn't wearing a hat for the last show, and somebody wrote in, "What happened, man? You always wear a hat for this show."
What's funny is I don't remember last week's show, so there's that. But I yeah, I guess maybe I envisioned you in a hat. I don't know. I usually wear a hat. There's a few times I
Yeah, well, I
don't,
mean, no, I started wearing the hats because it would separate me from the other shows that I'm doing too. And you usually wear a hat or a hoodie or
Yeah,
something.
it's
And
something.
so I
Yeah.
thought, okay, I'm going to start doing that. And sure enough, I messed up and I didn't have the hat on last time, and a few people said noticed it. So, I guess that shows that you're worth something when somebody, notices that kind of stuff.
I know nobody ever says anything when I don't wear pants, but you don't wear a hat and everybody's talking here. Jeez.
Who is that, Joe Cocker? You can leave your hat on.
Yeah, I can leave your pants on.
Funny. Hey, so what's on your mind? What's going on? You're traveling.
I was,
Yeah.
I was at Disney and all that, which was great, like I haven't really gone anywhere in a while. I take days off and those staycations are fun. Don't get me wrong. I
Right,
really
right,
enjoy.
right. Yeah.
But you need to get away. Whether it's a 2 day trip, this was more than a 2 day trip, and probably one of the most expensive. It's more expensive to go to Disney than it was to leave the country. Um, you know, and I did it. I did it on a budget. Like I was like this is the number one. This is the only vacation, if you want me to be honest with you, in my life that I have truly budgeted a daily budget.
Uh-huh.
Normally, I go, look, I'm going here. I got this amount of money.
Like
We're
when you
going to
go to a
eat.
concert or something.
Right. Or like Luke and I go camping. Okay. We know this is paid for. We know I got to buy this. Let me bring XYZ. This is what we have to get through the 3 days. Or like, for example, we go back to Michigan. Okay. We're going to Michigan for 4 days. I'm going to bring boom, boom, boom. And, you
Right.
kind of have an idea. This was a situation where I was like, okay, every day this is what we're working with, whatever that amount might be. And I'm not going to dive into the schematics of that,
Yeah.
but and I know Disney's expensive, guys, but I don't think anybody realizes how expensive it is until you go. I am not naive. I've watched things on Disney. I know the way the world works, and this is not a bash at Disney. I'm just talking.
Right.
I paid for my trip. What do you want, Kat? I paid for my trip and the hotel and the airfare months before, like
Right.
3 months. It was done.
Yeah, that's what you want to do because then you figure, well, it's already paid for, so I'm
Yeah.
I'm free and clear.
We know we're there. Now we just got to get some money to go. And the majority of your savings, because a lot of people think I got to save for everything now. I got to have my spending money now. No, dude, like pay for get the trip and travel and get that paid.
Right.
And
Right.
then you got if you can save for it, great. But maybe you've got a month to save. You put, you
Well, and
know,
sometimes if you book early, you can get a little bit of a break by
and I
by
did.
making those plans early. Yeah.
Definitely I did. I could tell you that right now on the actual tickets for Disney. Okay. The average cost of a single day ticket at a park is 125. It's
Per
a
person.
hundred per person. Now they have some deals where it's like 116 for kids or what, they might, but let's just look at the no deals. Just look
Right.
at that.
Right.
That's one park. You got to remember, there's Epcot, Hollywood,
Uh,
Magic
Universal.
Kingdom, all that.
Yep.
We only went to the two parks. We were not going to Epcot. I think Epcot Luke would not really. I think there's a couple things there, but I think he'd get bored with it.
Yeah, yeah. Give him a few years where he's more more into the technology that went into everything
Yeah.
there.
Or you know what? Let me wait till he's 21 and we can drink in every country. You know what I mean? Like that's what you do in Epcot. Like we're going to Italy, we're going to eat and drink. We're going to Russia, we're going to eat and drink, and that's what you do. You get drunk, you go around the world and get drunk.
Or wait till
And then
he's
go.
20, wait till he's 25 and he can pay for the trip.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't want to go to. I didn't want to go to Animal Kingdom because it's just a big giant zoo. Who
Yeah.
cares? I'm not saying it's great. I just don't care about zoos anyway. Either does Luke. So
And you got
we
one here
did.
in town.
Exactly. So we did Magic Kingdom, obviously, and then
Yeah.
Hollywood Studios, obviously. So if you were to do that and just buy one like a day pass, you get a couple $100, right?
Yeah.
So we got a deal. My my airfare was pretty cheap. I went through work, so I got like I think I ended up saving like on round trip on both tickets. I think I ended up saving like $90 going through work. Hey,
Okay.
it's $90. It's 90
Right.
bucks, man.
That's your spending money on the
That's some
grounds.
right, you know. And then I booked it, and so we went. It was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Flew back Monday. Okay, so 6 days, 5 nights. It's kind of a lot. It's kind of aggressive, but you know, whatever. Hotel, we stayed at the park, like on the resort,
Okay.
because they had a better deal buying tickets at the hotel. If you were staying there, you they had packages
Right.
where
Right.
you yeah, and I did the math and it was significantly like couple hundred, like probably $300-400 cheaper. And I'm like, okay, well, because I mean, if you get a cheaper hotel off site, but you're paying more for the tickets, what's the
And the
difference?
transportation to get
And the
from
transportation.
off-site to the park.
Exactly. Here, I got multiple transportations. I had the Skyline to take us
Right.
right into the park,
Right.
and the buses, which the shuttles were there they were just there.
Right.
And the shuttles don't drop you off in the parking lot. They pull your fat butt all the way up to the
Right.
gate, and you
And
just
they and
walk
they
right.
and they pass the other hotels and some of the other sites on the grounds on the way. So it's like a
Mhm.
sightseeing tram too.
Yeah, and you don't gotta tip them either. You can, but you don't have to. Matter of fact, the guy discouraged it. He was like, no, 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 no. And you have an opportunity to do that at the
Right,
end,
right.
but I'm like, they just divide that up amongst everybody. You know what I mean? So anyway, whatever. I digress. So I looked at it, and then they had a special deal for the parks. And it was you could do individual tickets, you could do day hoppers, or go to a park a day. For me and for Luke, being 7 years old, I wanted the option to go to a park per day because let's go spend Magic Kingdom, do our
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
And again, you can go back. You can go back to the
Sure,
hotel and go
sure.
back to the park. Next day, hit up Hollywood.
Mhm.
Third day, go, hey, do we need to spend another day in Hollywood or should we go back to Magic Kingdom?
Or go to Adventureland or
Or go,
tomorrow.
yeah, or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then whatever. Not to mention the hotel we stayed at. It wasn't one of the greatest like Disney resorts, but it was cool. It was very cool. And it's the sports complex, the Disney sports complex.
Okay.
So first off, everything there is connected to sports, but it's also Disneyfied. So you have giant Mickey Mouse playing football. Like it's cool, man.
Yeah.
The room was okay, better than the one I stayed in Vegas. But on the grounds, putt putt golf. You got the ESPN Center you can go to, which was super cool.
Yeah.
They have all kinds. You got two major swimming pools. One of them is like a swimming pool, but resort style. The other one's saltwater with a beach.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's cool.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Then they had giant football field. Like I mean, it might have been seven football fields in one, and it's like a park, and you just hang out and go. Like they had amazing food, an arcade, like so you can just hang out there for a little bit.
On the front side, you're saying to somebody, God, it's a hundred and some dollars per person per day. But when you're there and you realize the amenities that you've got to take advantage of, then all of a sudden you say, "Hey, you know what? That ticket really was worth it because it was all encompassing. There were a lot
It
of
is.
things that I could do."
And we got the one of the food plans with it too.
Okay,
So
yeah,
one of the food plans was really cool. Because we each got this awesome souvenir cup, and it's cool. And I always use those.
refillable.
Refillable,
Yeah,
anything but alcohol. And I was like, I'm not drinking anyway. So anything like you want to go in and get, and they had all these cool, like different like juice cocktails. So like Luke was like, Dad, what's that? I go, I don't know, get it. Who cares? If you don't like it, dump it out, get another one.
right,
And it was great. So he had all these like mocktails for kids, probably not healthy at all, but who cares?
right, right.
Um, but total just for plain Disney tickets and hotel, not including like, and food plan, not including like souvenirs.
Exactly.
I was at like $2,200 before I even stepped foot in the park. By the
But
end, by the end of it, because they have these things, they're called lightning passes. Okay. I'm anticipating people waiting in line. I'm preaching to Luke, patience, my young Jedi warrior.
yes,
You
yeah,
know, we are going to wait in line, but at least in some of the lines, there's all kinds of stuff to do and see, and
exactly.
and it's kind of fun, but you're gonna have to wait, buddy, because if you don't wait, we ain't gonna do nothing. And I could have gone to a hotel in Dallas, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so um some lines are better than others. You got like a 30-minute wait, but you're moving. Who cares? Some of them are inside, like you're in like Pirates of the Caribbean and you're waiting in line and it's just fun to be in there. Um, but you have these lightning passes that you can buy. And the lightning passes, like you can buy a single event. Yeah, not as fast as you think. It's not
Yeah,
necessarily
yeah.
lightning, it's like a slow roll storm. But they do take care of those people better. But everybody's buying a freaking lightning pass. So you
Right, right. Yeah.
some of the rides, they don't have them. They just don't offer it. You can buy it individual. So let's say you wanted to go into It's a Small World. Well, the only reason I wanted to go into It's a Small World is because it's indoors and it's
Right.
cool. you know,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
air conditioning. I don't care about It's a Small World. I think it's creepy, but
Yeah.
Luke didn't like it either. So, but we were floating in a boat and it's air conditioned. So,
Yeah.
why not? Um,
The only downside is when you get out of there, you absolutely do not care to hear that tune ever
no,
again in your life.
I sang it on the way home too. But just to make him mad. So that's cool. But if you were to buy a multi-lane pass, there the top tier one is $223 per person. I didn't do that because I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
But we bought the multi-lane pass for both parks, and we could pick. I picked three at one park and three at another. This way, like the big ones, Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, the Star Wars. So we knew those were like, we got six of those events that we did. Like, we're good.
Right.
Everything else, we're just going to gamble. We'll go wait in line. We'll go catch a show, and it worked out. But
And you
just
watch
that,
the weather too, because if the weather is going to be overcast, that's when you're going to do the indoor things. When
exactly.
it's nice out and a breeze, that's when you want to do the outdoor stuff.
Well, and the other thing too, like if there's an overcast, nobody's going on the log ride
Yeah. Yeah.
except for us. I'm like, "Yup, we're going." uh, but um, but the thing is, just for that, dude, just for that, for two parks, it's $100. I mean, I'm looking at it at the end of the trip, it's like a $3,200 trip. I don't think people realize how expensive it is. And yes, you're paying for, I'm not taking anything away, but, and you can bring food into the park.
Yeah.
You can bring your backpack, bottles of water, 100%, because there's not a lot of fill stations in there. There's not, and it's hard to fill. So I'm
Yeah. I'm
pack,
surprised. Yeah.
they're better than they were, but you got to find them,
Yeah.
you know. Man, I was like Rambo. I had like a thing of water, like and I'm just like, let's go, and we pack snacks and all that, but I don't think people realize how expensive it is.
You know,
Like,
you say that, but go to see a major rock group at a venue, that holds 50,000 people, and you pay big bucks to sit in the third balcony. You can't even see the stage, the cost for parking, the cost for snacks, and that can add up real quickly too.
look,
Or
I'm not,
major sporting events. So,
no doubt, no doubt.
but what you said earlier about, yeah, you got a high ticket price, but what is included is there are so many things you can take advantage of that now you can justify that price. If you go and you don't do any of the auxiliary things that are included, you don't take advantage of all the drinks, you don't take advantage of all the sport facilities that you have where you're staying. That's on you. But there
Yeah.
are people that said, we were doing stuff from 8 a.m. until 9 o'clock at night.
Well, and that's the other great thing going
Yeah,
with like a 7-year-old. Like, I don't care if you're 7 or 7D, man. Like, you ain't going to the park from 9 a.m. till 10 p.m., dude. Like, I mean, could you? Yeah. But
yeah,
how fun is that for Luke? You know what I mean? So for me, it's about adjusting. Okay, Luke's done at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. We've been there like 6 hours,
right.
7 hours. Let's go back to the hotel and chill.
Yep, yep.
Maybe
Jump in
we
the
chill there
pool.
for, yeah, go to the pool, chill out, get some food.
Yeah.
And then if he wants to go back, we can go, we could have gone back. But the other cool thing was you adjust. Okay, hey, we're not going to the park in the morning. We're gonna go to the park in the evening and see what it looks like at night because it's a different animal at night.
Right,
You got the fireworks and all that,
right. The light
and
shows.
yeah, and we even spent time at the hotel on the very first day. We didn't go to the parks. It was all about the hotel stay, and I spent probably $20 that day. That's it
Yep.
because we had the free food and we had the free putt golf and we got these cards. They mailed them to me a week before I got there, and they have little bands where you can put them wherever, and it's like a credit card. They load it up. It's loaded with credits for the arcade, and they have certain vending machines, and so we're walking around with. Luke said he had like $200 on there. It was not $200. It was like 200 credits, which doesn't equal $1, but that's okay. And they're all Mickey Mouse credits. I don't even know what it was. But I will give him credit on the credits because when we went to like the arcade, I was looking at prices. It wasn't like 30 credits for one game. It was like three, four. So I'm like, you spend an hour in the arcade and then you can go get a snack. Well, then I didn't know this. They reloaded it the next day. So
Oh,
we
okay.
had credits, and I guess I bought it. I
Yeah.
guess I bought it, but really interesting though. The biggest thing I'll say is a stupid fly in my house. The biggest thing I'll say is we got that pass and I made a mistake. I did not read the fine print. I'll be honest. And the passes I bought were only for it was a park jumper and it was only for Epcot, Magic Kingdom, no, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios. It excluded Magic Kingdom.
Oh,
And so I was trying to buy a lightning pass and it wouldn't let me. And then I reached out to support and they were like, "Oh, you got to buy a ticket for Magic Kingdom." And I'm like, "What the heck?" And then she pulled up that section of the fine print and I was like, "Come on, dude." So I was frustrated because that's another like $200, you know?
yeah.
Um, but what happened was the customer service was great. What they did was they basically swapped out those tickets. They added a fourth park, and I only ended up paying an extra $75. They helped me
Well,
out. So I give them
they're in the
credit,
people. They're in the people business.
and it was my mistake. Like I'm an idiot. Like what am I supposed to, like I can't even be mad at them.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and she said, "Hey, we can do this for you since you're staying at the resort." And I was like, "Okay, Mickey Mouse, you got
Yeah.
me on that one, dude." But anyway, guys, I guess the whole point of this was, and I could dive into the trip and tell you everything, but I'm not going to. Um, I just it's amazing that I could have gone out of the country for less, or I could have gone on a cruise for less, you know. I don't think we'll go back to Disney anytime soon.
Go on a
But I,
cruise next time.
no, I'm not taking my son on a cruise. No, nope. Look, if dad's going on a cruise, he's going with friends or solo. Like that's it.
Hey,
I'm already
but you know
planning my
what?
trip.
You could take Luke on a Disney cruise,
No, I'm good with that, dude.
and then he can play with all the kids on the
No.
cruise while you're chilling out.
Yeah, that
They
sounds
go to their own
miserable.
private island.
Miserable. Yeah, yeah, no, no. Um, yeah, the own private island. Didn't Pinocchio do that too? And something happened to
Yeah,
him too?
yeah, yeah. In
Freaking
fact, you know what island they go to? They go
Epstein.
the no the Cay that they go to is where they filmed Gilligan's Island.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
That's owned by Disney.
I don't want to go there. Um, no, I don't know. I think next year we're chilling. We're gonna hit the cabins, the work cabins again. Those were a blast and it's free. So
The back country.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna go to we're planning a Chicago trip. I asked Luke where he wanted to go, and he said, "Let's go to a city." And I'm like, "Well, you ain't got to tell me twice, you
Well,
know."
yeah, yeah.
He still says, "When are we going back to Vegas?" And I'm like, "Bro, you're not like Dad took you once, and that was like great, but we no." So I think we're gonna hit Chicago. We're gonna go visit some friends. I might tell my parent or not might. I'm gonna tell my parents, "Hey, if you want to drive." It's only 3 hours.
Not far from Detroit. No,
Why don't you meet us in Chicago for the day?
there you
You know,
go.
you get your own hotel room. We're gonna party, and then because I'm saying I'd like to stay with some of my friends, and then we can meet up and do something fun in Chicago. You know.
There you go. Hey,
So anyway, guys, but that's just I had to tell you, the Magic Kingdom is magical. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's something special about it. I don't know what it is, but
and I will also tell you that the youngsters have a good time, but the parents have even a greater time
I got
because
emotional, man. I got
yeah,
emotional.
yeah. The parents get younger and younger and younger as the days go by, and then when the kid at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon says, "Can we go back to the hotel and go swimming?" and Dad says, and this is a documented statement from the fathers. I paid all this money to bring you all the way to Disney World, and you want to go sit in a swimming pool?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was like we hit Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and
Yeah,
I'm walking around looking at like the
getting
Millennium
lost.
Falcon. Yeah, the Millennium Falcon's in front of me, and I'm like, I just want to touch it. Let me touch it. And Luke's like, Dad, are we gonna go online? I'm like, shh, don't you just let me absorb
Dad's
this
having a
in.
moment here.
Yeah, and like the stormtroopers walk by, like they're just there. There's
Yeah,
just like groups of stormtroopers walking, and I'm like,
yeah.
and you go to take a picture. I'm like, can I take a picture? And they're like, no pictures. And I'm like, but I mean, that's just their shtick. They are in the character. And I think the coolest thing ever, and I've seen it on TikTok, but watching the little kids run up
Yeah,
and give their people hugs. And then they have that Disney has that hug rule
yeah.
where they can't break the hug until the kid breaks. Oh my God.
No.
Pure joy. And that's why like Disney might be an evil corporation, but God, they're good at it, man.
Well, I think we planted a few seeds in some people's minds from this show. So
Yeah.
wherever you're going, make it a good time and put Disney on your bucket list too.
On your radar, man, on your
Yeah,
radar.
yeah, and come back and
Um,
catch us again next week. All
you
right.
got it, guys. Thanks
Take
for
care.
listening.
Bye.